and welcome back to the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube. Man, it has been a while since we've done one of these. I think probably about 8 or 9 months. I've just been kind of trying to take care of some things in life, but we are back now. Our mindset is right, and Patrick Brackett and I, my co-host, he uh, he and I had a talk, and we just said to ourselves, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this thing. Life has been hitting us, but life is going to continue to hit us as it will hit everybody. So we might as well just suck it on up. Let's get this thing going, and let's get it then back in order. So with this webcast or with this shorty, I hope this makes it be known that Project Let's Get It In is officially back in order. So let's get started with this shorty. I am your host, Charles Taylor, and again, this is just a shorty. We'll do the normal webcast coming up in a week or two. So Patrick will be back with me, and we will be our normal, raw, and cooked and uncensored selves, having no filter, not changing any of the content. But it does need to get cleaner in terms of the product. So we are working on that, and we hope to provide the best possible product for you. Real quick, I just wanted to talk about a few things with the NBA playoffs. There's a couple of teams and another one that I'm going to need a whole book to get on. I'll get on them in a minute, though. But there's a couple of teams that are gone from the playoffs in the Eastern Conference that honestly deserve to be gone. They've been overhyped all year, and to see them go home, I'm really not mad. Now, there is one that I'm maybe a little bit salty about because I honestly thought they would come out of the Eastern Conference, and that one is the Boston Celtics. I felt like by getting Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward back on top of the players they had when they made the run last year, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, Al Horford, among others, I felt like with everybody coming back, they would be primed and ready to make a deep, deep run to the NBA Finals. Because, again, I thought they would come out of the Eastern Conference. Instead, they got blasted out of the playoffs by the Milwaukee Bucks, the number one seed in the East, in the Eastern Conference semifinals. And they went out in five games. And in essence, well, after winning game one, they lost the next four. So in essence, they got swept. But the main thing with Boston is Kyrie Irving was a petulant child. He wanted to be a leader. He wanted his own team. He wanted to get away from LeBron James in Cleveland because he felt like he could lead his own team. And simply, he can't. That proved out this year. Now, maybe he could get in a situation later on in his career to where he does become a better leader, and maybe he can be the number one player and lead his team to the NBA Finals or perhaps a championship. That's not happening right now, though, and this bad boy crashed and burned in a hurry. He's right now just a petulant child, crying about everything, whining about everything, saying how great of a shooter he is, even though he shot pretty like 35% from the field in the series. So with him acting the way he did, it was just too much for the head coach Brad Stevens to overcome, and he got outcoached by Mike Budenholzer in that series with the Bucks. But other than that, Kyrie was he just wasn't the guy he thought he is. I mean, he's not as good as he thinks he is. And it's okay to have confidence about yourself. If you don't have confidence about yourself, who else will? But this showed that he was not able to lead at all. And since he wasn't, Boston went out. So I'm sure there will be a whole bunch of conversation coming up with them in terms of the offseason and what they're going to do with this team, because this team could definitely undergo a few changes. We don't know what's going to happen with Irving, if he's going to re-sign with Boston or if he's going to go somewhere else. I know there's a lot of talk saying he may go to the Lakers, but who knows? And honestly, not really worried about that at this time. I just wanted to say some closing thoughts. And speaking of the closing thoughts, let's get down with the Philadelphia 76ers, who lost on just a heartbreaking buzzer beater, a great shot by Kawhi Leonard for the Toronto Raptors. And the Raptors win that series 4-3 by winning Game 7, 92-90. So now Philly is gone, another team that was overhyped, and they might undergo more changes than what the Celtics have to do. You have Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. They are both free agents. JJ Redick is supposed to be a free agent. You do have Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons under contract, and the head coach Brett Brown, who I have said multiple times on other forums, is nuclear waste as a coach. He might be gone, and if so, well, he it's probably time for him to go anyway. He just looks lost on the sideline, especially when it comes down to clutch situations that needs the coach to step in and design a play for execution. Excuse me for being a little bit off. It's been a while since I did this, so I apologize. But the main thing with Philadelphia, the coaching needs to get better, and Ben Simmons especially needs to get better. Dude wants nothing to do with the ball in the post or in the clutch. He doesn't want to touch it. He's supposed to be one of the best players, one of the up and coming players in the league, and he wants nothing to do with the ball down the stretch. Sure, if it wasn't for Jimmy Butler, I don't know where Philly would be. Because Joel Embiid, he was always sick, and he played well. He actually played well last night. I think he had 20 points, 11 rebounds. But he's going to get trolled today. He probably has been getting trolled today. I haven't checked any of the pages like that yet. But he's he was crying at the end of it, at the end of the game. And with the mess he talks and with how he kind of front runs, a lot of people are going to come after him. I could easily come after him as well, but I can understand him being emotional. After seeing your season come to an end like it did last night, I understand why somebody would break down and cry. And this is just a reminder that even though they do play in the NBA and a lot of times they're looked at as superhuman, these guys are human too. Or females, depending on the sport they're playing, they're human too. And sometimes those emotions kind of catch up to you, and it's too much to keep inside. So it's okay to release. But Philadelphia has some work to do. Boston has some work to do. But honestly, look, they underachieved. It's time for them to go. And I'm not sad to see them go. So now let's talk about another series, actually, before I go from the Shortie. The Portland Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets series was the series that was just kind of looked at as the underbelly or the undercard, but it was probably it. I mean, I guess depending on how you feel about the Sixers and Raptors, because both of those teams or both of those series went 7 games, but that was probably the best series out of the semifinals series. I mean, they had the 4 overtime game in Game 3 that Portland won, 140-136, and then they were just going back and forth throughout the games, high scoring, and then there was a couple of defensive struggles as well. And then Game 7 on Sunday, which was 100-96, with a victory for Portland, and now they get to move on and play Golden State. So those are the 4 teams that we should talk about: Portland, Golden State, Toronto, and Milwaukee. The rest of the teams, like Boston, Philadelphia, and Houston, that's the other team, the Houston Rockets. That's a team that I'm going to need a whole book about. But I'll be putting out something with them in a little bit. Or maybe tomorrow or whenever. But other than that, that is what I am breathing on. Make sure you check out the pages, the Facebook page and the Twitter page, and of course on YouTube. It's great to be back. So if I seem a little bit stuck on words and stuff, it's been a while since we've done this, but again, it's great to be able to put this together, and hopefully we can continue to be a part, a bigger presence, just to get you guys to just kind of hear us and listen to us, and we appreciate the feedback as well. So until the next Shortie or normal webcast, you guys take care, and hopefully I'll see you later on this week. See ya.